Hello, and a big thank you to Wendy Satchwell for joining me on our Meet the Artist today. Wendy, I vividly remember being absolutely blown away when I first saw your beautiful paintings for the first time, especially the work on the filigree luster and shadow collection. It's just so beautiful. It'd be really
Oh, thank
fantastic.
you.
No, you're very welcome. It'd be really fantastic for our KJA and white light NFT communities to know a little bit more about you and your gorgeous work. So I'd love
Brilliant.
to ask you some questions if that's okay.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
So how long have you been an artist for? And are you from a family of creative people?
I've loved painting and drawing ever since I was at school, really, since being a little girl. That's where my passion started to come out. I loved my school projects and things like that. And then from there on, I went on to college and then to university and to do my BA honours degree. So I would imagine, for a good 40 plus years, without giving
Wow.
too much away. Professionally, I'd say probably 25. But yes, I do come from a very strong family of a creative family, to be honest.
Okay. What's their background?
My sister is a very professional and well-known interior designer,
Okay.
who's been doing that for years. And I have my uncle, who's my mum's brother, who's also a very well-known architect, and is based in Birmingham. And my mum's always been really creative. She's a fantastic seamstress. So I suppose, yeah, I do come from, my husband always says it's the creative mafia family. So yeah, I have got a lot of creative family
Okay.
in me, yes.
And you think that probably had some influence on you just being as a cauldron of the environment that you grew up in?
Yeah, I think so. I think going back in my family history, I think I have a great uncle who was also an architect as well, on my dad's side. So yeah, it's obviously come down
Yeah.
in us from that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I've never, coming out of, when you've finished your degree, you obviously keep in touch with certain people. And I know that pretty much a lot of those people aren't practicing what they went into to do their, their degree in anymore, which is sad, really. But I have to say, throughout my life, I've always painted. I've never stopped. So it's always been part of me, to be
Yeah.
honest.
No, definitely, and that really comes through. For those that are going to watch this, can you explain your painting style and the techniques maybe that you use without giving too much away?
Yeah, yeah, without giving my secrets away, yeah. um I'm an abstract artist. So at art, from my BA honours, I studied textiles and fine art. And since coming out of there, I've evolved into being abstract. But my work is very, very textured. I absolutely adore texture. So that's where a lot of my work comes from nature, really. So so I paint flat. So I paint on canvas predominantly. And it's all very controlled chaos with my work, because I'm quite messy, but it's controlled mess. And I mix all my paints, and I basically use a flat surface, and I create abstract work with oil and water, which is predominantly not meant to mix. And they hate each other, they fight. but I make them work with controlled methods that I use with spray enamel, spray paints. I control the way the movement of the paint flows, which create beautiful textures and shapes, and has a really uneven surface, which I love, which I find it really tactile.
Yeah.
I use lots of different methods with different textures to create. I love things that look really old and worn, you know, like if you see a really old decaying wall, or an old decaying piece of door in an old barn or something, I try to create that sort of feel in my artwork, but with the luster and the beauty that goes within it as well.
Yeah. No,
So
it always seemed to me like you'd actually put something actually onto the canvas and maybe painted over it. It was almost like it had like grit, but it's obviously the reaction for the medium that you're using.
yeah, I mean, I like it introducing, like I said, I love nature, so I try and involve nature in my work. So I do use little cold water stones,
Okay.
little tiny little pebbles and things like that sometimes. And I also use really beautiful pressed leaves. You know, I I'm a runner in my hobby, so when I'm out running sometimes, especially if it's been especially in the autumn when it's been really wet and the leaves start coming off the trees, I get some very odd looks because I'm there halfway through my run picking up beautiful leaves that have decayed in the road, and they've got all the veins are showing, and I peel them off and I press them. So they and then they come into their own into my artwork, because then they're mummified into a clear cast resin that goes over the top of everything.
Okay.
So I like to introduce, as well as my painted texture, I like to introduce other kind of nature as well into my work, which I think I'm beginning to get to be known for that, to be honest.
Well, that's fabulous. And would you say your style's changed over the time that you've been working?
Yeah, I think in general most artists' work evolve when, from, as you get more into what you're doing, and you find new texture, you learn different techniques. But my work has evolved a lot. It used to be very much 3D, or good 20-30 years ago, and it's definitely evolved, and a lot more, how can I put it, I think it's got more of a luxury feel to it now. It's got more luster and depth, and yeah, so yes, it definitely has.
Okay. And what would you say has been your biggest influence?
Oh gosh, definitely the great impressionists. They've always been a massive influence in my work. Claude Monet, I would say, Claude Monet and Gustav Klimt are probably, and they still are, a huge influence in me. I mean, Claude Monet's mesmerizing color palette is just unbelievable. I mean, I just love color. I adore color, and again, with Claude Monet, he loved nature. He painted nature. The water lilies, but he made it, and especially in his later life, he made them more of an abstract feel with his color palette, and the scale of his paintings as well just blows my mind, and to the point where one of my recent works was the biggest piece I've ever done, and it was based on the inspiration for me was walking through a really dark, deep wood, and it had just been, and the light shines from down the trees when it's just dripping. Wow. And my for the scale and possibly the color palette was Claude Monet's water lilies in the Louvre in London, in Paris.
Yeah,
They're just outstandingly stunning, beautiful, and
They are
And
huge
then
as well,
Gustav Klimt,
aren't
sorry.
they? They are huge as well, those panels.
They're massive, yeah, they're ginormous. If you've never seen them, you have to, they're in an arc. They're just incredible. They make you tingle actually if you're into that thing. They're giving me goose pimples. They're so stunning. And then you've got Gustav Klimt's work, which, and that's at the moment still a huge influence in my new collection, which is Filigree, Lustre and Shadow, which you mentioned at the beginning,
Yeah, you
which
can see
has,
that shine and shimmer.
yeah, which has, yeah, shine and shimmer, and it has the luster and the depth, which has it's a genuine gold leaf that shines through the paint, through the surface of the paint that comes through. And his work is always and still remains an influence in me, to be honest. So yeah,
Well, that
it's
makes
always
sense.
the mass.
Makes total sense. And
Yeah.
do you have a favorite time of day to paint? Are you a night owl?
um I am a night owl, actually. I'm certainly not an early bird. I'm not an early riser, I will be honest. I like my sleep. But I am a night owl, and if I had a choice, I'd be happy to work late at night at my studio than early in the morning. I probably get going about lunchtime, and then I'm sort of into it and more focused from there on. So yeah.
Okay, that sort of makes sense. And I was saying to Rob, your husband, last week when I chatted to him, he said he's more of a morning person, but most artists are. I think they're with you and me, the night owls. I think we like.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of peace and quiet, and we've had our full refreshing night's sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Rob's amazing. He gets up at super o'clock in the morning, and I just think, oh God, how can you do that? No, no. I'm like more like back, of course I go back to sleep.
And what would you say are your favorite pieces of work you've created? Do you have any favorites?
Yeah, I do, definitely. I think, well, I know so. There's a recent one, the two that have recently been sold out of my new collection, Filigree, Lustre and Shadow, which I'm still working on that new collection of work. And I'm going to be doing two great big long panels soon, which I'm quite excited about. There was one which was called Oriental Gold and Autumnal Gold, and those are probably the ones that you've seen.
Yeah,
They're
the
both
autumn gold is my favorite.
the what? Sorry.
The autumn
Yeah.
gold. It's just
Well, those are both recently sold, but they I love doing those. I really really enjoyed doing that, and they were, I was really really proud of those. And my very very large piece, which I was talking about, that I've just recently done as well, which is called Beauty Beneath the Trees.
okay.
That was great. But I've also done some fabulous pieces for um, Karen Brady,
Okay.
Baron Karen Brady. She's got some beautiful pieces of mine in her homes in London and Warwickshire. And I've also got a fabulous hotel, which is where it's called Hampton Manor in Warwickshire, and that's being converted now into a big hotel, boutique hotel. And they've got three really magnificent big pieces of mine that I did quite some years ago, but they've had them up for quite some time now, and they've got a beautiful restaurant called Peel's. So yeah, those are very nice pieces I did for them too. So
Satisfying to go for a meal maybe and admire your own artwork on the wall.
yeah. Although I'm so terrible at criticizing my own work, I don't think I'd be looking at it thinking, oh, I should have done this and that.
Um, and how do you continue to develop your skills and creative ideas?
I'm always looking at new texture and how I can evolve my texture in my work, because that is, like I said before, a really big thing for me is the texture. So I'm always trying to look at different ways I can, create texture. Like all artists, we get inspired by other artists.
Sure.
So you know, other artists' work. So yeah, it's kind of that really. Colour never ever seems to wow me, to be honest. I'm always looking at different colour combinations for my work. I do a lot of commissions for people, so you know, I will work to their colour palettes. Some probably aren't my choice, but then
Sure.
when I've done them, I've actually thought, you know what, that actually is really lovely. I wouldn't choose that colour palette, but it works, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for different combinations of colours and texture.
Okay, that's good to know. And so what's your interest in NFTs, and what was the driving force behind getting involved with us at White Light NFT?
Um, I think the NFTs has come out. I'll be completely honest with you. I find technology, it's the other side of my brain, so I find it a bit confusing. But
You and Rob both.
So, but with the NFTs, I think it's you know, it's the technology, it's the new era, it's the way things are moving. I'm very excited by how my work will look in an NFT, and how it's going to move forward, and how it's going to open doors for me in a completely different, you know, set of clients.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, over the months I'm being constantly asked, can I have you work on NFT? Can we do this and can we do that? And of course, because I haven't been set up with it, I haven't been able to do that. So I'm very excited about how it's going to bring new clients to me, and the whole technology of it, and to see my work in an NFT is going to be quite exciting, I think.
Yeah, no, I
So
think it will open doors to a much wider audience as well.
yes,
Not only your
yeah, definitely,
existing client base,
yeah.
but a whole new world of clients that will have their eyes open to the beauty of Wendy's artwork.
Yeah, I'm genuinely really excited to see what it's going to look like. I really am. Um, there's an artist in America. Won't mention her name, but she's one of my influences, as in a different artist. You know, we all have them. You all look
Sure.
up to different people, and her work is beautiful, and she's an abstract artist as well, and she's based in Florida actually. But she's just done an NFT of her work, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. It's just so incredible. So I am very excited to see what mine's going to look like. I really am. So yeah, I can't wait.
Neither can we. We better get our fingers out and get something organized.
Yeah, go on with it.
Wendy, it's been lovely to talk to you today. Thank you so much. And
No, thank you. It's been really, really lovely speaking to you too. Thank you very much.
all right, bye now.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Take care. Bye.
Bye.